Hi everyone, this is my presentation on my creative book comparison art project. For my project, I made 4 panels of watercolor illustrations that mimic, attempt to copy the techniques of Vera B. Williams from her book Music for Everyone, and Tommy DePaola from his book Tom. Here are my 4 panels. They're sort of designed as interchangeable panels so you could move around the spots, move them up or down, and hopefully still flow seamlessly together and look cohesive and unified. Because the books and their stories and their themes flow seamlessly together and are in many ways thematically at the heart of them very unified, and that was sort of what I was trying to capture with the illustration. So very quickly, in terms of the plot of the 2 books, Tom by Tommy DePaola is a story about a little boy named Tom and his grandfather also named Tom, and how grandpa shows him in his butcher shop how chicken feet can have tendons you can move to make the feet move. This sparks creativity in Tom, who takes them home, washes them, paints the nails from his mother's nail polish collection, and practices regularly so he can make the feet move under his sleeves, and then goes to school and scares a bunch of his classmates before he gets in trouble with the teacher who says, "No more chicken feet to school by you, Tom." This book ends with Tom, grandpa and grandson, hugging and winking together, with grandpa saying, "Well, we'll just have to find something else for you to do, won't we?" Story kind of emphasizes whimsy and fun and joy and not taking life too seriously, and the importance of having fun when you're a kid. Rosa's story, on the other hand, in Music for Everyone, is a little bit less, I wouldn't say less joyful, but a little bit more serious because Rosa's a little bit older. Over the course of the 3 books that we see Rosa in, Rosa has had a lot of strife and a lot of challenges that her family and her have had to deal with. They had their house burned down in a fire, and the community came together to help them rebuild the pieces of their life together. And they saved a lot of money to buy a lovely chair for her mother in the first book, to buy something special for Rosa in the second book. But now, at the start of the third book, the money jar sits empty because grandma is ill and a lot of mom's earnings are going towards taking care of grandma. And Rosa thinks to herself, well, maybe I can do what my other grandma did, which is perform on the streets to earn money. She shares this with her grandma, the one who is ill, and her grandma absolutely insists that this is a brilliant idea. She must call her friends right now and puts her into action. Rosa gathers together a group of friends, forms a band, finds a place to rehearse, practices diligently, gets her first gig, to which grandma shows up, decked up and dressed, dances through the night to Rosa's music. They don't play perfectly, but everyone has a wonderful time. At the end of the night, when Rosa gets her first paycheck, her first little earning, she takes her share and puts it in the money jar for her family, for her grandma. Obviously, both stories have the wonderful little relationship between grandparent and grandchild, and the creative spark that grandparents ignite in the children in order for them to pursue fun, dreams, challenges, and all the like. Both stories show the beauty of joy, of belonging, of community and connection. Although Tom is a little bit more whimsical, playful, and mischievous, Rosa's is a little bit more striving through illness, a story of resilience, a story of taking on responsibility. Both still really share that integral grandparent and grandchild connection and the value of that relationship as it pushes children forward into finding an identity of their own, into finding their place in the world. In terms of illustrations, um, and actually I'm going to hold up some of my imitations. So my concept for this art project was to sort of mimic interchangeable tiles that you could move around and still have the overall design stay relatively unified, still make sense. So I was hoping for that through these illustrations, and the first step really was to pick which illustrations. And as I was pouring through both books, I started to notice more similarities than the stories themselves. For example, both stories have a couch. There's a lovely little illustration of grandpa sitting and reading the newspaper to grandson with beautiful expressions. Both stories show tender and fun moments between grandchildren and grandparent. Both stories show grandparents animated, involved, initiating connection with their grandchildren throughout. Both stories also happen to have, of course, moments where the grandchild is diligent and practicing the skill that they're working towards, and then end with tender moments between grandparent and grandchild hugging together. So there were just so many visual parallels that was just, striking out through the books at me. As I was starting to put this project together, I had to kind of, after selecting the illustrations, conceptualize how I would lay them out. So I had lots of little sketches I made of what the illustrations would look like, how I would order them, and then also how I would lay them out so that they would still be symmetrical and seamless in the paneling. I was hoping for the background to represent the waves that you see all throughout Music for Everyone, especially in the borders, almost sort of signifying the flow of memory, because Veera B. Williams hides little illustrations all throughout her book, and many of the ones that I did pick out were actually from those little mini illustrations she has tucked away in the corners and the borders. And then I tried to really imitate her style of these waves across the background to sort of unify the sketches together. That took a little bit of planning and geometry. I had to sort of figure out how I would get exactly the right wave shape and how I would line them all up. I used eventually this as a stencil and then drew across them. My choice of colors was also relatively intentional. I didn't want to overpower the reds and the blues and the purples in the original illustrations, but still be able to capture some of the lightness, the sunlight coming through, the green signifying growth and potential and youth, just sort of capturing all of the flow together. I also really loved using watercolor as a medium. It's intuitive to me. It's a medium that I have always loved, and I really sought to imitate the illustrators themselves and try and learn from their techniques. And I was quite shocked at how challenging some of this was. I was surprised to try and when I was trying to recreate the textures on the couch and the many layers of watercolor that required, the checks on the blanket, or even the details in grandma's scarf, or the curtains, or in her fabric, or in the musical instrument that Rosa plays. It was actually quite shocking to notice that despite the fact that in terms of techniques, the two watercolor illustration sets are slightly different. Music for Everyone has softer illustrations, looser colors. The expressions aren't as bombastic or as big. They tend to be more intimate and tender, as opposed to Grandpa and Tom in Tom, where they tend to be more expressive, more readable in style. I also notice most of Tom's a lot of cartoony, slightly simplified drawings, and Tommy DePaula talks about how he used to do this with a lot of his illustrations, with just flat washes of color, whereas there was a lot more detail in Music for Everyone. But despite that, I actually was so shocked to discover so much detail that's hidden in the color choices here, or in trying to get the shading and the colors of the skin and the rosy cheeks for Grandpa and Tom, or the texture of Tom's hair, or, oh my god, one of the things that was so hard, the socks on him, because that required layers of painting to recreate the details on that sock. Yellow, then green diamonds, then red lines. So despite initially appearing so much more simplistic, I discovered there was a lot more depth and a lot more attention to detail that was in both sets of illustrations. It definitely challenged me a little bit as a painter myself. I thought this was going to be a lot easier than it was, but it was truly an enjoyable labor of love as well. As I was painting these images, I found myself as an adult really thinking back to my own grandparents, moments of storytelling I've shared with my grandfather, moments of care I shared with my grandmother before she passed away, because I have exactly these memories of sitting and combing my grandmother's hair when she lay in bed as well. And it really allowed me as an adult to sort of reconnect with a lot of my childhood memories about my grandparents, and turned this entire project into a labor of love. Lots of learnings, lots more appreciation for both authors and illustrators for the work that they do, and certainly a deepened understanding of the stories themselves. What a wonderful way to end this semester. I hope you enjoyed it. My write up goes into a lot more detail, walking through the various similarities and differences that I noticed in terms of the plot, in terms of the text features, and then, of course, just in terms of theme. Thank you so much, and wishing you a wonderful, wonderful summer ahead.